Hello.
I don't know how to start it.
No.
Hey!
Hey. Hey, you.
You! Hey, you! Last we left off was we picked it up from the dealership and it was nighttime, so we couldn't go anywhere. It was literally like 9 o'clock or something. We were driving it home. Dylan drove it from Dallas back to Kerrville, and we were on the phone because I was driving the Kia, and so we were driving and Dylan was like, oh man, it's so weird, like it doesn't feel like it's going all the way.
It was bad.
And then we got up to like the highway and it really wasn't going. Like it was like all like semis were passing us.
You could definitely tell there was some problems with the engine. You could tell that it didn't have power. It was lacking a lot of different things. It was so hard to get up on the highway and maintain a speed. Any grade hill, even small grades, would cause the van to come down to like 40-30 miles an hour. It's something called limp mode. You guys can read more about it online. There's plenty of material out there about it. If you're wanting to know more about what it takes to replace something like that and the process that I went through in order to replace the intake manifolds, if you're curious, you want to do something like that yourselves and you run into the same problem, because this is a common problem with these vehicles, right? It has to do with basically a poor design on the intake arms. Like I said, we can get more into that. If you want to know more, just let us know. Definitely hit us up on Instagram or YouTube at Newman & Souls.
We didn't know, like, whenever we picked the van up, what was happening to it.
Unfortunately, we kind of were so trigger happy to get a van. We didn't actually even drive the van before buying it, which sounds really amateur and kind of ignorant, but
also the space it was in was just impossible to test drive it.
Yeah, there's no way. We have never driven something like this as a daily driver before. The dealership we were buying it from was more of a finance place, and it was the smallest parking lot you could ever imagine, packed full of cars. There wasn't a single open parking lot. You know, it's a 170-inch wheelbase van, so it's quite long. It's not so bad anymore. Now for us driving it around, it feels kind of comfortable, but at the time, we just didn't want to risk test driving and something happened. I know insurance will cover all that, but we really wanted this van, so to risk ruining it wouldn't be so bad for us as far as paying for it goes. It would just be bad because we wanted the van.
So we wanted to give y'all a update on our van, and we wanted to let y'all know where we are and what we're going to be doing. So what we've done so far is
what we do. Did the manifold, that was the big one. We did the sensor.
We had sway bar.
Sensor.
Sway bar, ABS sensor.
Manifolds. We fixed the SCR stuff.
Fixed the backlight.
No, we didn't. There was never a problem.
What's your problem?
I guess we can let them know about that.
Yeah.
The thing we started was to fix all of the problems that were on the van itself. So that includes any like engine work, which we did. We had to replace the intake manifolds. What else we did? We did the ABS sensor. That light was on. And a few hundred miles after driving it, we had a bunch of lights come on.
Light on the dash is on. If you guys want to see, I'll show you. Every light is on. It's like Christmas. We got all the presents in the van.
It was ABS, there was SCR, DEF fluid light was on. We had to take it in to get that fixed. Fortunately, if you're gonna be getting this generation of Sprinter, which is I think 2012 to present day, you need to be aware of the DEF system or diesel exhaust fluid system. You need to be aware of like the selective catalytic reducer and all that goes into that, right? Because if you're buying a van like this without understanding the contents or how all of that works, you're gonna be in for a wild ride.
If you want to buy a newer vehicle, it's awesome, right? And you probably will have less miles most likely, and it'll be more maintained because it's a newer vehicle. All the other benefits that come with having a newer vehicle. The newer the vehicle, the stricter the emissions control and federal regulations are on that. So particularly with this vehicle, it's new enough that emissions is so strict that it could prevent the car from starting if something isn't working properly.
Because it's going to cost you a ton of money and it's going to be a nightmare to try to keep up with, right, and maintain. So just a heads up, if you're looking to buy a Sprinter van this year or something along the lines of a newer Sprinter van, there's a reason that if you talk to van lifers and other people that they'll tell you not to do that, and that's for that particular reason.
We didn't know that going in. We didn't know anything hardly.
Yeah, so it definitely helps to have friends and we did a lot of research, but this is something that like doesn't really come up in your research when searching for a van. People do a lot of comparison videos for sprinters and other vans like the Transits or the ProMasters or the Nissan one. They do those comparisons, but
no one goes into detail about.
No one goes into detail about gas and diesel and the real differences between the internals. But that's just something that you guys want to look out for.
And if you want a video of us explaining what we've learned so far with owning a Sprinter and all the little tiny details that we had to know quickly about it, just let us know and we'll do a whole video about that. There's just little details that we had to fix.
Yeah. There was the rear door didn't lock. The locking mechanism was broke for that. We fixed that.
It could lock, but we couldn't unlock it from the outside.
And the rear door hinge was loose. That had to get tightened down. It was rattling like crazy.
It didn't close all the way that we noticed.
Yeah.
We didn't notice that until
That's because the hinge was loose. So the hinge was loose, so the rear door didn't close all the way. And there's still knickknacks, right? Like we need a spare key and
a spare tire.
The spare tire. The front door doesn't lock.
It locks.
It locks, but you can't unlock it with the key. Yeah. The locking mechanism again, the locking arm for that is broke, just as it was for the rear door. But the rear door actually still had the arm there. The front door doesn't. So we're gonna have to try to find a part. I'm thinking we're gonna scrap it at a junkyard, hopefully, but because I'm not able to find that part anywhere.
Yeah, if you go on eBay, it's probably also really expensive too.
Basically, just a whole bunch of crap.
And also, while Dylan was driving down the highway, it sounded like he was just in a huge wind tunnel. Like it was just like.
Yeah, that's because the front windshield. So that made a lot of noise.
So there was like two major problems where we were like, we've never driven a Sprinter before.
Yeah.
Is this like common?
Yeah, people online said that cargo vans are kind of loud on the inside due to the size and the angle of the windshield. So in the cabin area, you really hear the sound of the wind hitting the front windshield, and that is normal, right? But as we kind of began to like listen for the sound, we actually found the wind coming through the windshield on the passenger side. So we had to took it just to our like local window shop, which is called Ziegler's Glass. I think they're actually a chain. We took it there, and they did it for like $70. Didn't replace the window, just resealed the window and where it was leaking. The other windows we plan on doing ourselves. So
we're taking the lights out, taking the floor out.
Yeah.
Cleaning it, because we don't know what's underneath here.
The main goal moving forward is to rip out the floor, tear out anything we don't want or need, and then from there we'll start insulation and electrical kind of hand in hand, right?
Yeah. So we'll try and make sure the videos are separated. So if you wanted to focus more on electrical, we'll have a detailed video about that. And if you want to know more of a detailed video about installation, we'll do that. But from start to finish, it's probably going to be a mixture of a lot of different things. Rather than like how you see some people's, or they'll do one thing all at once and then the other thing all at once. And we're also going to be doing a roof rack for our solar panels. So that's probably not going to be done until a little bit later on. So our solar panels are probably not going to be up for a while. So we don't know. We're just kind of playing it by ear, really.
Yeah.
Just kind of going with the flow. Okay, well that's about it.
That's about it. I think we're ready to get started.
Yeah. Come on, go. Come on. Ready to go?